Before we begin, thank you very much to Master Far for joining the Patreon campaign over at patreon.com/TJOmega. It does mean the world to me, and it literally is the reason I can keep doing this, so thank you very much to everyone who has been contributing and allowing me to continue. So, what we're going to do something different today, but my toy shop is unavailable to film in right now because there's renovations going on. So, this is not what I was planning to do. I wasn't going to do a news roundup this week because there really wasn't a whole lot to talk about, but there's a few topics in particular that I really wanted to talk about. So, as long as my original plans are in the dumpster, we might as well go over a few of those little topics. So, we've browsed through the boards on TFW 2005 to see the latest headlines. And we are starting with the announcement that Flame Toys' Furai Model is continuing with a repaint of their Seekers, and this time it is Acid Storm. I am always kind of surprised that Acid Storm comes up. It is a completely original character from Hasbro. It is inspired by one of the Rainmakers from the original cartoon, but it is not anything that has generally appeared in fiction. A little bit in Cyberverse, but that's about it, and it certainly wasn't this design. I do like the two-tone green. Two-tone green is a big weakness of mine. I find it interesting that this is the one that keeps getting released. I guess because it's such a contrast from the other Seekers. I'm always surprised when I don't see Sunstorm, because Sunstorm was that flavor of the month kind of vibe years back. When what was it? Man, it's been so long since we had all of those. But no, there was an exclusive that, Sunstorm started life as an exclusive in Japan. Then it became a comic book character, and then there was a lot of Sunstorms around, and now there's none. Sunstorm barely ever pops up anymore, but I see Acid Storm a lot, and it's a cool design. I had this model as Thundercracker, and I never got around to building it. I ended up selling it off before I even opened it. So maybe I go for this one. I don't know, at the very least, it's unique. Like, I didn't open Thundercracker because I thought to myself, why would I open this? I've got Thundercrackers I like better. They look more like Thundercracker. The super stylized thing doesn't really appeal to me on characters I don't associate it with, but I don't really associate Acid Storm with anything. So that actually might work out a little bit better. We'll see. I do think it's cool that they are releasing it. For Flame Toys, I keep waiting for them to announce a repaint of their G1 Prime, hopefully into Shattered Glass colors, because I'm sitting on the original Optimus mold in Nemesis and Shattered versions, and I don't need to have two Optimus Primes that are evil and in the same mold. I'd really like to have all three of those as separate figures. Still waiting. So, moving on. Yes, we have Transformers Red finally showed off their next wave of figures. One of them being an Ultra Magnus, which is a white Optimus Prime. And that's all we need to say about that. Let's talk about the star of the wave. So this is what Red should be for. This is what Transformers Red should be for. When they announced Prime RC, I was actually thrilled about that because that's a design that really isn't possible in physical form. There's just too, the animation model is too stylized for the vehicle mode. There's just not enough bulk in the vehicle to actually make that robot mode correctly. Even the first edition RC, which is a great figure, still had trouble accomplishing that. And the more I've always looked at Knockout's design, the more I just kind of admit to myself, it probably is not possible. It probably can't be physically done. So, and there's rumors it's going to be done, but it's rumored that it's going to be Studio Series Jazz remolded. Blech. Hopefully with no translucent plastic. We can only hope. But this looks amazing. If I just want a really nice looking Knockout, and I kind of do. I kind of associate Knockout the character more than the vehicle. I don't think it's one that I particularly need to have transform. It would just be nice if it did. And I do like that it's in scale with things like the first edition Starscream. So he looks correct amongst your old Prime collection. That's a really nice touch. No, we don't need to see Magnus. I love how much he comes with weapon-wise. He's got that drill sword. He's got a staff. He's got the big drill. He's got a chain. He's got a saw blade. Looking so good. I've got a couple of red figures. I mostly regret them. I'll probably pick this one up though because knockout, and I have no faith in that rumored knockout actually coming out the way I want it to, because I don't think this design is. I don't think it's possible to make this design turn into his ideal vehicle mode. So I think this might be as good as we get for a while. Moving on from that, we've got some updates on the Transformers comic book license situation. Skybound, a company that was run by the guy who made Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman, is apparently lobbying to get the license for the Transformers and G.I. Joe comic books. He is a big fan of the brands. He's not going to be involved with the writing, but he definitely wants to have those under his imprint. I've never heard of Skybound before. I mean, of course, I knew IDW because of Transformers, but IDW's also pulled in a bunch of other franchises that I have been reading, and I've really enjoyed what they've been doing with those. This is interesting because IDW's been doing comics for Transformers for so long now, and I know a lot of people aren't happy with the writing. There's some that have hated IDW's writing from the beginning. I think it has bad spots, but overall, I think there's some extremely good storytelling in there. I'm not a fan of the current direction. If this were to happen, supposedly the rights would be lost this upcoming year in 2022. And then the new books wouldn't hit until 2023, which is a big gap to have no Transformer fiction. We only have rumors of the next cartoon, and we know that the new movie, Rise of the Beast, was delayed to 2023. 2022 may have no new Transformer fiction whatsoever. That's huge to me. Like, it'd be the remainder of the IDW run, and then once that was done, that's it. Unless they like shadow drop the cartoon on us and say, "Oh yeah, the new cartoon for Nickelodeon, it'll be out in a month." Unless that happens, there's not going to be any kind of fiction for almost a year, which is just like stunning to me. So that's going to be weird. That's going to be really weird. I feel bad for the people writing at IDW. I might not agree with how they are handling the Transformer product, but I do feel bad that they're getting, they're taking their time on a story that is not going to see its conclusion the way they envisioned. Because we know how Transformer stories go. Eventually Optimus leaves Earth, Megatron follows, they end up on Earth. We're nowhere close to that in the IDW run, and it looks like we're not going to get to that point in the IDW run. Which, ironically, if they have to find a way of wrapping up the story without ever leaving Cybertron, would tell the most original Transformer story of them all, where where the Decepticons rise up, and Optimus Prime, Orion Pax claims the Matrix to become Optimus Prime, and then immediately shoots down the Decepticons and ends the war. It never even happens. It's just an uprising that is quelled. That would be, tragic way to finish off, but kind of hilarious. We'll see how it goes. Let's talk something else as far as fiction and creative works in Transformers go. So this is a poster announced. Let's see if I can find the company that's doing it in all this blurb. So this was supposed to be a poster for More Art Gallery. They've done Transformer posters in the past. They are super limited and far more expensive because of it. 24 by 36 standard size. 2 editions coming out. One that would be glow in the dark. Done by Juan Ramos. And this came under a lot of scrutiny. Because apparently a lot of this imagery is plagiarized. So a lot of it is plagiarized from stock photos, which technically Hasbro has the right to do if it's their own stock photos. But one, it does create a lot of problems because, well, Starscream is holding Megatron in gun mode, so that's a little bit weird. If we look at it closer, the biggest glaring thing here is that is not Combiner War Devastator. That's not Devastator. I believe that's a third-party Devastator that's in this shot. That's not good. When your officially licensed thing has an unlicensed product being represented in it. People have pieced this together, what stock photos built up what characters. Most everything in here was pulled from a stock photo, which at that point, I genuinely wonder, if you're the artist, why not just take photos yourself? Why not just take photos yourself of these toys in poses and then draw and trace over them to create this piece? Because it's frustrating that they were going to charge so much for this poster when all the artists copied from somewhere else. And you could go, well, it's just them taking a shortcut. But if you're paying a quality artist to produce a quality product, they shouldn't be tracing anything when there are thousands of artists who would kill to have that opportunity to work for Hasbro, work on the Transformer brand, put out something that is so limited and would be so coveted by collectors, only for the job to go to somebody who's going to plagiarize someone else's work. And yes, a photo is as much a piece of art as a sketch. So if you're tracing over an existing photo, that's still plagiarism because that's still somebody else's creative work. This was just like, the more came out and the more people started figuring out where all this came from, the more infuriating it was. Now, this does have a weird ending. All the Instagram posts that originally showed this have gone. This page is unavailable. Oh wow, I've got a lot of... I didn't realize how many notifications I had on Instagram. I don't advertise my Instagram because I barely use it, but I do have Instagram, just so you people know. I'm kind of happy to see this got rolled back. Because apparently this just had a really bad look to it. This had a bad look for the artist, had a bad look for Hasbro, and honestly, I don't like how it looked anyway. So, better to be left in the dust. So the big thing we revealed this week, and what I really wanted to talk about, we got a new look at some more buzzworthy Bumblebee figures, and this time they are repaints of Studio Series figures, to the point where they even have backdrops just like Studio Series figures. So it's a weird crossover between the two. And there's part of me that absolutely hates what is going on here, because this is Cup from Studio Series 86, but they've added another designation to separate it from the original Cup release. So the abbreviation for this toy is now SS8602BB, and that infuriates me somehow, especially when his name is Cup. His name is one syllable. It is 8 abbreviations to actually give him his serial number. I love what they've done here, though. Normally, I am not the kind to rebuy a figure just for the sake of upgrades, but it's such an important upgrade for me. So, for starters, no clear plastic. You see that? There's no clear plastic on this toy. Now, I already love the fact that they tamper-graphed in his little scuff marks from the movie, so it gives him that worn and aged look that's far more Cup. But, yeah, and they gave him the opaque windshield, which makes him look way more like he's supposed to. But there's no clear plastic. Guys, there's no clear plastic. You know, like, I'm still working. People have been in the comments section asking me, where's the clear plastic video? I haven't had time to make it because there's so many stories. There's so many stories of clear plastic problems. I don't know how to present them properly and make sure they're all included. So, when I see this, I have hope. More to the point, this is just a much, much nicer looking Cup with the opaque windshield. But even more surprising, there's a Cliffjumper as well in this wave. And once again, it's Studio Series based, so the box does have the box is blurry here, and they didn't give me a better picture to work with. But we have an animation accurate Cliffjumper coming out, and we see, like, compared to the Earthrise, yeah, it's way more show accurate. This is the kind of upgrade I'm happy to go for because, yeah, that looks way closer to the Cliffjumper I want it to look like. But also, no clear plastic. It's completely gone. They did away with it. It's opaque plastic painted over. Oh. You have no idea. You have no idea how much how exciting that is to me. This gives me hope. Like, I feel like in this case of Cup and Cliffjumper, they only did it because they wanted to make cartoon accurate, so they were going to paint the windshields over anyway. So they don't need the translucent plastic. So now that there is none, I'm wondering if this isn't some way of gauging collector response. Because there's going to be collectors who will want the clear plastic no matter what because they like the look of the windshields. But there's also going to be plenty that don't want to deal with the curse of clear plastic like me. So I'm hoping this is some kind of test to see whether or not collectors respond to a change based in no clear plastic. I really, really hope that's the case because I really, really want this to sell well. To drive that point home to Hasbro, we don't want clear plastic that's going to make our toys destroy themselves with age. You know, I want my toys to last as long as the G1 figures did. I want them to last until I can hand them down to my kids. That's what I want. And hopefully that's what we get. Hopefully this is just the start. Still got to make the translucent plastic video because I still want to drive home just how bad of an issue it is. I also like the cannon. The cannon on a lot of these just gets the exact same, like, normal color. So it looks really bad, and they all look the same. I'm very happy to see it painted to be show accurate as well. Yeah, this is a definitive Cliffjumper figure now. The part forming is still annoying, but yeah. Guys, they might actually be figuring it out. They might actually be figuring out that clear plastic is not worth the aesthetic. There's too many problems with it. So this has me excited. I never thought I'd be excited for a buzzworthy Bumblebee release, especially in my area where I can never even find the Worlds Collide set. Man, that got bungled bad. But that's what the news is for the week. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully I'll have something of more substance tomorrow when I have more filming space available to me. And, yeah, stay tuned. There's a lot on the way, and there's a lot that I'm looking forward to posting this month. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, or just hit like on the video. They all help me tremendously. And, of course, it'll let you know when all that new stuff goes up. So, hopefully I will see you then. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.